Good morning, student. Welcome to this new session of Science, Class 8. I am Vinita Kumari from Kindergarten. I am making this video so that you can study it properly at home. So let's start our first chapter, that is crop production. Now this crop production comes under a branch of science that is called agriculture. So what is agriculture? Agriculture is the practice of growing plants and animals for their rearing animals for their food and other useful products. Now this agriculture, it is the world's largest and most important industry in the world, and it is thought that it has begun 10,000 years ago. What about before that? Before that, the humans are the early humans. Humans are the wandering. They wander here and there for food, eat raw vegetable fruits, hunted animals and kill the animals, and then they eat food. Now, then they discover that by planting seeds, they could grow plants for their food. So this way, this is the beginning of the crop production. After they knew that they can grow plants, now they don't have to move here and there for food. Now they become farmers and settle in the farmer community. Now they start domesticating animals for food and for other purposes. Now it is nearly 50% of the world and 70% of the Indian population, they are in the agriculture sector. However, agriculture changes very slowly until before 100 years ago. But after that, there is a tremendous change in the agriculture sector. They use the better variety of plants and animals, use of fertilizers for better produced, use of pesticides for protection from protection of crops, and use of machines for such as tractor and harvesters, which are labor saving. So this has led to the better crop and higher yields. And in India, this agricultural revolution, that is also called Green Revolution, began in 1960. As a result, the production of food grains that has increased several folds. Now this crop plants, based on their products that we obtain from that plants, we have divided into different categories. So first is your cereals. Not that cereals we see in the TV. These cereals, they are the tall grasses that are grown for their nutritious seeds that are called grains. These grains are rich in carbohydrate, and they also contain protein, vitamins, minerals and fibers. Now they are the staple food for the people nearly every part of the world. And the wheat is the most important cereals in the world, followed by paddy or rice, and then maize. So this is the first category. Now second is pulses. They are rich in proteins like pulses like pea, gram, then your moong, and so many. Next, third is your fiber crops. Fiber crops, they are grown for the fibers used in clothing and upholstery. That is, they are rich source of they are used for making clothes such as jute and cotton. Now next category is your oil yielding crops. Oil yielding means they are rich in edible oils like mustard, soya bean, groundnut. Next is your sugar yielding. Sugar yielding means they have high sugar content like sugar cane. Next, then vegetables. They are rich source of minerals and vitamins, and also they have very good amount of water, and they can obtain from leaves, flowers, stem, root like spinach, potato, carrot, cauliflowers, and so many things. Next is your fruits. They are rich in they are also rich in water contents, minerals, and other dissolved nutrients like apple, mango, banana, and so many. Spices, they are the flavoring plants, means they are added in the food for taste like pepper, ginger, cloves, so many, and other so many. Now this crops, they are of two types. In India, they are of two types based on the climatic conditions like temperature, rainfall, humidity. And this climate, as we know that climate varies from one place to another, therefore a variety of crops are grown in different part of India. So in India there are two patterns, that is Kharif and Rabi crops. Now first is your Kharif crops. So Kharif, crops, they are also known as monsoon crops. They are shown in monsoon season, means in June or July, and they are harvested in September or October. And this Kharif crops, some of the Kharif crops are maize, soybean, cotton, groundnut. These are, and this Kharif crops required lots of water. Rice, main is rice. Kharif crops, they are shown during the rainy season. Next is your Rabi crops. Rabi crops, they are called the winter crops. They are planted in October and harvested in the month of March or April, means all the pulses family. Wheat is the most important. Wheat, then all the pulses like gram, pea, mustard, they are Rabi crops. So this is all about crops and agriculture. Now the method of crop production. How this crop production practiced in the field, or the farmers, what are the methods that farmers follow in the field for the better crops production. So there are so many steps. This modern agriculture is carried out in a scientific and systematic way. It is for the better healthy growth of the plants required oxygen, sunlight, water, nutrients from the soil, and the protection from the weeds and pests, and the proper storage after harvesting. Now we also know that the needs of the crops, such as types of soil and nutrients, water, etc., varies from crops to crops, means different types of crops require the different types of nutrients, different types of soil. So sunlight and air that are available, that are plenty available in the farm, in the open field, but the other requirements, they varies. However, So the step-by-step methods that the farmers applies for the better growth of the plants, they are as follows. So the first is your preparation of soil. Preparation of soil. We all know that what are the function of soil? Soil anchors the roots of the plants, provide nutrients and water to them, and also provide oxygen to the roots. The other microorganisms such as earthworms, they live in the soil and helps to keep it fertile. So the preparation of soil involves loosening and turning. Loosening and turning of soil. So the preparation of soil, first is loosening and turning of soil. So what are the advantages? Why we do loosening and turning of soil? So there are some advantage. First is your loose soil. They have lot of air trapped in it, which are used by the roots to breathe it properly. Means they provide aeration to the roots. Second, loose soil allow the roots to penetrate, to go deeply in the soil, and then they anchor the plants firmly. Third, loose soil helps the growth of the earthworm or any other microorganism in the soil, and so that they provide nutrients in the soil and for the loosening of the soil. Loosening and turning of the soil also brings the nutrient-rich soil on the top of the so that the plants can absorb nutrients more efficiently. Loose soil mixes uniformly with the fertilizers. So these are the advantage. Now this loosening and turning the soil has a term that is called tilling or plowing. Tilling or plowing. This tilling or plowing is carried out by an equipment that is called plow. It may be wooden or iron plow. Now, but iron plows are widely used nowadays. So, tilled soil. Tilled soil means when the soil has turned out, the lumps. Tilled soil, they have a lumps of soil. Big lumps of soil that has to be crushed to make them leveled. Level means uniformly, and this is done with the help of a wooden or iron leveler. So the equipment for the preparation of soil may be wooden or iron plow, maybe hoe. There is another equipment, hoe, or then your plow. And this is leveled soil. Leveled soil also prevents soil erosion by wind or water. So this is the first step is preparation of soil. Next is seed selection and sowing. Which type of seed we should take and how it will be shown in the soil. So we can test whether the seed is healthy or not. For that, we have to take a bowl of water and keep the seed in that bowl. Some of the seeds settle down in the bowl and some are floating on the water. Means they are not good seed, they are broken seeds, or they are bad seeds. Healthy seeds settle down in the bowl. So Some points that we kept in the mind while selecting the seeds. First, the seed should be of good quality, healthy and free from disease. Second, they must be free. They must be planted at a proper depth in the soil. Means if we will plant deep in the soil, what will happen? They can't respire, and the shoot, they will not come out. They will not push the soil. And if we plant it on the surface, they will be eaten by the birds. So both advantage and disadvantage of these seeds are there. Third, seeds require water for germination. Means the soil should have water in it, but not too much of water. If too much of water is there, then the seed will not germinate properly. Next, the seeds should be sown at the proper distance. If they are too close to each other, they will not get the proper nutrients, sunlight, water, and the growth of the plants will hamper. But if they are too far from each other, there is a wastage of field. Now, what are the equipments for the seed selection we have done? Now, for sowing, seeds can be sown either manually or by seed drills. So they are sown manually by sprinkling them into the soil by hand, and this process is called broadcasting. But this broadcasting had disadvantage that seeds are unevenly distributed in the field. Now the seed drill, it has a funnel shaped opening leading to a long tube, and it is attached to a plow. Seeds are put in the funnel, and as the plow makes furrow in the soil, the seeds are deposited in the soil by the drill. The seeds drill shows the seed in the proper distance and the proper depth. Same thing again, proper depth means not on the surface, and the proper distance means not too close or too far. Some plants like rice, tomato, chili, onion, brinjals, their seeds are not directly sown in the field. Instead, they are planted in the seed beds, that is called nurseries. And when in the nurseries, when they have grown into small plantlets, then that plantlets are called seedlings. Then these seedlings are transferred and transplanted in the field. This helps the farmer select only the healthy seedlings and space them properly while planting. So seed selection and sowing, that has done. Now next is your seed selection. So second is your seed selection and sowing. Third is your manuring. Third is manuring. We all know that plant requires a lot of nutrients for their growth. And these nutrients they get from the soil. When the crop is harvested, it has taken some of the nutrients present in the soil, and this way the nutrients are used up if the land is cultivated for a long time. So this causes the crop's yield to start falling. So these nutrients have to be replenished time to time, and this can be done either by the natural method or by adding manures and fertilizers to the soil. Now what are the natural methods? So there are three natural methods. First is your First is your field fallow. Field fallow means to free them. So in field fallow, the fields are leave for one season or more than one season. So dead plants and animals and other organic matters that collect on the land are decomposed by microbes, and these nutrients are returned to the soil naturally. Second is your crop production. Each crop uses more of the some nutrients and less of the others. So farmers therefore change their crops in each season so that the soil is not depleted of any particular nutrients. So they are not sowing the same crops in the every season. So they change the crops. In some time they cultivated the wheat, next they rice, not the same crops. This is called the crop rotation, means they rotate the different types of crops. Like wheat or rice uses a large amount of nitrogen from the soil. So as we know that different crops, they require the different nutrients. These two, the staple food that requires a large amount of nitrogen. So this nitrogen can be naturally replenished in the next crop, that is of leguminous or pulse family crops like pea, mustard, groundnut. And how this is done, that we have read in class 7, rhizobium bacteria that is present in the root nodules of leguminous plant. They can fix the atmospheric nitrogen to form the water soluble nitrogen compounds, and then the soil is ready to for the next crop, that is any wheat or rice crops. Then next is your mixed cropping. So 3 methods. First we have seen natural, field fallow, fallow means free. Fallow means free. We have to keep the field free for one or more season. Second is your crop rotation. And third is mixed cropping. Mixed cropping, sometimes 2 or more crops are grown together in the same field. So what are the advantage? What are the benefits of using 2 crops? So the crops are chosen in such a way that the nutrients used by one crop are fulfilled by the others. Like wheat and leguminous. Any leguminous plants like pea, mustard, any leguminous crops such as peas, soya bean or green beans, and any cereal crops like rice or wheat. They can be grown in the same field. But these 3 are the natural method, but these natural methods alone are not enough to maintain the fertility of soil. So farmers have to add fertilizers and manures from time to time. Now using fertilizers and manures, we can enhance the productivity of the crop plants. Manures, they are the organic substance obtained from dead remains of plants and animals. Green manure is made from crops grown specially to be plowed into the soil when they are still green, like legumes, rice, grasses, fenugreeks, etc. These are when they are green plants, they are added in the soil. So to improve the fertility of the soil. Animal manure also consists of animal waste. Compost, you have read in class 7, compost, it is a natural manure obtained from the decomposition of dead plants and animal waste. Compost is made by burying all the available organic materials in a pit with the alternate layer of soil and leaving it to rot. The bacterial and fungi in the layers of the soil speed up the decomposition. Compost is rich in organic nutrients but not in some important nutrients like NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Fertilizers, they are the man-made or human-made chemical substance that contain one or more nutrients essential for plant growth. The most mildly, just now I have told you, NPK, they are rich in nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. They are easy to store and handle. Since they are soluble in water, they are directly absorbed by plants and greatly increase crop yields. But disadvantage also, if we overused of fertilizers harm the soil by making it porous and acidic, by making it acidic also. Excess fertilizers, they get washed off into water bodies and pollute the water and harm the water animals. Fertilizers, they are prepared in factories, but manures or compost are naturally prepared in the field. But farmers use both fertilizers and manures for the better productivity of the crops. Now next is your irrigation. Next is irrigation. Irrigation means supplying water to crops in the field. Irrigated land in India has, obviously, irrigated land, they give the better productivity of crops rather than non-irrigated land. Unfortunately, in India, our farmers are dependent on irrigation on the rain. However, this rain varies and does not always supply the right amount of water at the right time. Therefore, it is important for the farmers to supply water regularly to the crops. Now, this water required for irrigation can be taken from the water bodies like river, reservoir, lakes, ponds, well and tube wells. And from their water bodies, it is delivered to the field by irrigation canals or pumped up from a tube well which is operated by using electric or diesel pumps and then guided to the field through channels. Modern method of irrigation help us to use water economically, means not wasting water. These methods, there are so much wasting of water, but the modern method, they do not waste the water, like the sprinkler system. In sprinkling system, the water escapes from a revolving nozzle. There is a nozzle and is sprinkled like rain on the crops. This system is useful for sandy soil and uneven land. In drip irrigation, water is allowed to fall drop by drop instead of filling the entire field with water. They minimize the wastage of water. But these methods, modern methods, they are very expensive. And this is useful where there is a shortage of water. So crops need water at the right time and in the correct quantity. And this quantity varies from crops to crops. Not all the crops require the same amount of water. For example, rice plants, they need a lot of water and they need a continuous irrigation. However, wheat does not require so much water. It requires water at specific time during its growth. Besides providing the right amount of water, it is also necessary the adequate drainage system in the field. If the field is supplied with excess water, it is called water logging. Water logging replaces, what are the disadvantages? If there are too much water in the field, the water will replace the air in the soil with water, which reduces the supply of air to the roots of the plants, and this stops the growth of the plants. The plant growth will hamper. It also increases the amount of salt in the soil, which is harmful for the crops. Now next method is your weeding. Weeding means weeds. First you have to know weeds. What are weeds? Weeds are the unwanted plants that grow along with the crops. They compete with the crops for the water, minerals and sunlight, and therefore reduces the crop yields, and they spread very fast. So it is therefore necessary to remove them from time to time. Different types of weeds grow with different crops. They also vary from place to place, from season to season. Like amaranthus, it's a very common weed which grow with almost every crops. So weeding, we clear weed are unwanted plants. So weeding, so the process of removing weeds from a field is called weeding. Weeding can be done either manually by pulling the weeds out by hand, or by using a trowel or a harrow to uproot them. Weeding is also done by spraying special chemicals called herbicides or weedicides with the help of a sprayer. They destroy the weeds but do not affect the main crops. Some common weedicides are like Dalapon, Metacor, Cynogen. These are some weedicides. However, these weedicides are also poisonous, and the grain must be properly washed before being consumed. So these weedicides are poisonous, so spraying may affect the health of the farmer. So they should be careful while spraying weedicides. So this is all about today. We'll continue in the next video. Thank you.